What up, YouTube? The turnout for my Saturday Scribble Stories has been amazing. Your guys' support has been off the charts, and it has been a huge blessing. Just wanted to say a big thank you to you guys. And now let's jump into the video. Today's video is going to be about the time my high school basketball team won a game with only 3 players. You're not going to want to miss it. Hope you enjoy the video. The title of today's Saturday Scribble Story is That Time I Won a Basketball Game 3v5. You might see this title and think that's a joke. There's no way Mitch has any athletic prowess, or that he played high school basketball, or that they won 3v5. But it is a true story, and I am here to tell you all about it. So to set the scene, I went to a tiny high school. Very, very, very small. I played high school sports, played high school baseball, high school basketball for this high school. But we are not a big high school. In fact, we are the smallest division for high school sports. So we got the big boys up here. They're like 8 feet tall. They are really good at basketball. These are the guys that are going D1. Guys that, they're still athletes. Casual high school basketball. They got JV, they got varsity. They got probably a freshman team as well. Smaller high schools. And then you got down here, you got the 8th grade boys team. And then down here, you got the YMCA rec leagues. And then all the way down over here, you got my high school basketball team. We were in 5A, and we are not good at basketball. So in California, the higher the number, the lower the division. We were literally super, super, super tiny. We were less athletic ability than the guys that are 50 competing at the local YMCA. So this is our basketball skills way down here. Nothing to write home about, but we still played high school sports. We still were competitive. We played against other schools that had around 300 to 400 kids. My high school, though, if you could take a wild guess of how many students we had when I graduated, the entire high school was a whopping 32 students. I graduated with a giant class of 12. And then to hope that some of those guys have athletic ability, our entire basketball team, our varsity high school basketball team, was 7 players. My school is called Coastal Christian School, CCS. We had 7 players for our boys basketball team. So everyone played. Our coach literally had a rotation where you sat out for 4-minute break, 5-minute break, something crazy. You got one 5-minute break for the entire game, and that was it. And so you're playing pretty much as much as you wanted. You were always in it playing time because there was literally only 7 guys on our entire basketball team. And if anyone was hurt or sick and like that, we were screwed. But for the most part, we stayed healthy through the entire season. 7 players, going strong. We got some dubs. That luck of being healthy and having all of our players was about to end. We went into our very first Christmas tournament. So we got Christmas basketball. Now there's a reason our high school had never played in a Christmas basketball tournament, because we only had 7 players, and if one of them was gone for the holidays, we're down to 6. If you have 2 people gone, then you are literally, we have 5 the entire way through. There's no way. But our coach was ambitious. He said, my guys are going to compete, and we're going to win in a Christmas basketball tournament, because in California, for some reason, Christmas is just the time where all the basketball tournaments are going on. It's a huge time. If you are a basketball team, you're competing in Christmas basketball tournaments, no matter what. If you're high school basketball, you're playing on Christmas. So it's a big deal. And so our coach was like, little CCS is on the come up. We are going to be going straight to the moon, just like Dogecoin. And our team was going to play in a Christmas tournament. We were going up to the stars. So coach says, hey guys, we have a Christmas tournament. I'm signing up for it. Make sure none of you travel. Us 7 players all right, sure, coach. None of us will travel. We'll be fine. We'll stay back. We understand. We play high school sports. We're going to have to make some sacrifices. Sorry, grandma. You have to suck it. We will not be home for Christmas. You will be alone because coach signed us up for a tournament. So, high school tournament gets closer and closer. He probably tells us about it in, I want to say, November. December rolls around, and the first player says, Coach, I got to leave for Christmas. So our team of 7 is now down to 6. And then a week before game time, 6 turned into 5 players for this Christmas basketball tournament. The lucky number of us playing, and it's not like we're playing one game. This is a freaking tournament over a weekend with 5 players. So we have 5 guys that were like, okay, what do we have to lose? There's literally no way this is going to go well for us. But hey, let's play anyways. Let's have some fun with it. Let's work on some drills. This will give us all playing time because no one's sitting, because we literally have 5 players. You need 5 on the court for a basketball game. Little did we know it could get worse. We think 5 is the bare minimum. We were wrong. You can go underneath 5. And we did not know that until this tournament. So game time comes around. We have 5 players available, ready to play. And it gets dicey. So we are playing against our rival. So we got CCS versus North County Christian. So the 2 holy schools, Coastal Christian School and North County Christian, are against each other. The rivalry is simmering. We went to their home court earlier in the season. We beat them. We are a better basketball team, but we normally have at least 7. We normally have at least a couple subs when we play basketball. They have a normal sized team. They probably got 12 guys. So they got a couple lineups. Guys, the funny thing about having 7 players when you're playing basketball is you can't even scrimmage 5v5. We, in practices, never had a 5v5 scrimmage because we only had 7 players. So we played like 3-on-3 and we had an occasional sub. Little did we know, all of that practice of 3-on-3 was going to work in our favor. Coach had the foresight to know at some point in these young men's childhood, they are going to play a game with only 3 players. And our hours of 3v3 basketball with 1 sub as a high school basketball team was going to pay off. We had the upper hand in this rivalry. No one was stopping us except for ourselves and our players' inability to not travel during Christmas. So it turns into a David and Goliath. We were used to being Goliath against North County Christian. We were never losing against this team. They show up with their 12 guys, and we have 5. So it's literally a 12v5 mano-a-mano battle for this dub. Game 1 of the Christmas tournament. And the thing is, we get to this Christmas tournament, our league is like very low quality. This Christmas tournament, they have teams here that are good. First quarter rolls around. We hear the buzzer. It is go time. Quarter number 1. If you guys have a basketball court that you got their bench, guys, they have as many subs as we have normally total players on our entire team. And we have no subs. They have everyone and their mother ready to come in. They have an entire team. Game time rolls around, and it is 5v5 like a normal basketball match. You got X here, X here, X here. Literally the only thing coach tells us, he gets us in a huddle. Coach gives us one rule. He says, for the love of God, please, no fouling. Because if we foul out, that's it. Like, we're down to 4 players. We're screwed. Unfortunately for us and for coach, one of our 5 players was a man by the name of Shane, and he had the hottest head on the history of this side of the Mississippi when it comes to basketball. He's yelling at the opposing center. He's yelling at the refs, and he pretty much almost fouls out every single game. And if he doesn't foul out, he gets technicals, and then he gets kicked out of the game for yelling at the ref. So this guy is a hothead. When coach says no fouling, he is talking to one person and one person only. He is talking to Shane. Coach says no fouling. The first quarter goes pretty good. We are playing well. We are beating them. We are tired, but it's only the first quarter. 5v5 isn't that bad when you can take your breaks when you can, call timeouts. And we're playing pretty well. We're up on them. We make it through the first quarter. But the problem is the first quarter ends. I'm going to make a little tally. This tally counts for every single time Shane gets a foul. So, first quarter, 1, 2, 3 fouls. Shane, you can only have 5 in high school basketball. He already had 3, and it was the first quarter. At this rate, he was going to have 12 fouls by the end of this game if he was at this same rate for every single quarter. So, coach, at the end of the quarter goes, what's our one rule, guys? Quit fouling. I don't care if they make the shots. We cannot foul, because the only way we lose this game is if we lose players, because then they have the advantage the entire time. So Shane's like, all right, coach, yeah, I'll stop fouling. That's my bad. That's my bad. Second quarter rolls around. We make it, no joke, 3 minutes into the second quarter. 3. 1, 2, 3 minutes. Shane gets his 4th foul. And you guessed it, Shane gets his 5th foul like 3 minutes in the second quarter. So now, when you see a 5v5, this X right here is no mas. We are now down to a 4v5. But we still have the upper hand. We say, okay, we're screwed. We have a nice, probably like a 10-point lead. Let's just try to delay. We're going to hold the ball as long as we can. We're going to run out the shot clock. We're going to play good defense. We're going to try to score when we can. Let's just try to delay the inevitable of them coming back. We got this team. Who cares? There's only 4 players. So now, hey, at least our bench isn't empty. Now we got Shane over there sitting his butt on the bench because he fouled out. So the 4 of us we're like, we have literally nothing to lose. We have 4 players and we still have 2.5 quarters left because Shane could not last longer than I think it's 14 minutes he was able to play before he completely fouled out. So it is now a 4v5 and we are ready to rumble. Coach says, okay, now please stop. Please do not foul. Do not foul, please. And we're listening to coach because we're level-headed when we play sports, occasionally. This is one of those times, we have nothing to lose. We're not going to foul. We're going to be great. And we are going to win this game, no matter what is stacked against us. So, second quarter goes through. We get to halftime. We still have a lead. We were able to still be up by 8 points at halftime. Start of the second half, third quarter. Unfortunately, Jerry, at the start of the third quarter, takes an elbow to the mouth, and it's just blood. Literally drips down onto his jersey, onto his pants, and onto the ground. Blood. And apparently, you can't play on a basketball court when you're bleeding. And so now, at least Shane has some company over here. And it is now the few, the proud, the 3. Thomas, myself, and Jared. We are down to 3 players on the court because his face is literally bleeding. So we go the entire third quarter with 3 players. You know the beautiful thing about this? North County Christian has to be the absolute worst coach team in the history of high school sports because they stayed in a zone defense against a team with only 3 players. They literally could have double teamed 2 of us and left 1 person out. And let me show you how our genius of a coach coached us through the third quarter of only 3 players. You got someone here, someone here, someone here, someone here, and someone here. This is your defensive setup. We only had 3 players. So the worst thing they can do is play in a set defense where they have to stay in their specific areas. I was the point guard. Thomas was our massive 6-foot center. He played up here, top of the key, and Jared played down here at the base, underneath the basket. Jared's job was to run back and forth over and over and over again. My job was to dribble the ball up the court and to pass it to Thomas. Now, Thomas would either shoot the ball or pass it to Jared. And Jared would either shoot the ball or pass it to Thomas. And then Thomas would either shoot the ball or pass it to me for a wide open, wet jump shot. Then I only make threes. I am cash money on the wing. That's a lie. I'm a terrible shooter. But that was our game plan. We just pass it until one of us is open. And the only reason this works is because they're still in a zone defense. They stayed in a zone defense. They would not budge. They thought this is our best shot at beating 3 players. And boy, were they wrong. Time after time, I dump the ball into Thomas. He turns around, a sweet jumper. He's calling bank every single shot. He literally scores like 3 times in a row. And then finally, this guy starts pushing up to Thomas, and he just passes to Jared, who's getting easy layups. It was a clinic. We could not be stopped. And at the end of the third quarter, we're up by like 15. And then reinforcements arrive. We have held off the British long enough. Paul Revere was coming down, and it was in the form of Jerry. Now, you might be wondering, okay, Jerry got his face beat in. How is he coming back onto the court? So, while we are fending off the orcs, Gandalf and Frodo are chilling over here. Shane literally goes, gets a towel, holds it up, takes off his pants and his jersey, and gives them to Jeremiah. Jeremiah, also on the sideline, takes off his clothes, changes. They're literally trading clothes on the bench. Now Shane is wearing Jeremiah's bloody clothes, and Jeremiah is now swimming in Shane's jersey. Jeremiah is the smallest player on our team. Good old Jerry. He was probably like maybe 5'6" at the time when we were playing high school basketball. And Shane is just a thick guy. And so Jerry's literally swimming in his clothes, but it would not stop him from getting into this game. And it is now back to 4 of us and 5 of them. And at this point, chat, the entire stands is now full of other teams and our friends. They're screaming for us. They are so stoked that these 3 idiots are now putting the pound on North County Christian. They have 12 players. They have subs available. They have an ability to rest. They could double team us if they wanted to. But 3 unathletic kids from Coastal Christian School would not be denied. We would not be stopped. And we have the entire gymnasium cheering our names. And by cheering our names, they didn't know what our names were because we were a small, irrelevant high school, but they were cheering for us. We get the ball, we shoot, the place goes crazy. They're booing North County, they're cheering for us, and we think we're adding points on in this third quarter when we are literally down to 3v5. We cannot be stopped. And we were correct. Let me tell you, the fourth quarter comes around. We are full of confidence, and we put the pedal to the metal. We are draining jump shots. I'm getting and ones. Thomas is still hitting the bank shot over and over. Jared's getting open looks. Jerry's just masterfully dribbling down the court. Court vision, a point guard god. We are balling. Let me tell you, I have never understood the term in the zone more until we were winning with first 5v12, and then 4v12, and then 3v12. We were ready to shine. We're on top of the world. We start out the Christmas tournament 1-0 by toppling the giant that was North County Christian with 3 players. We had 3 players for the entire third quarter. All the momentum was on Coastal Christian's side. We were 1-0. No one was stepping in our way. Except for our very next game when we lost. But, chat, that is the time that we won a high school basketball game with only 3 players. And I kid you not, I will never forget that day. I will never forget it. 1, because Shane fouled out like 10 minutes in. 2, because Jeremiah got punched in the face. And 3, because the 3 Musketeers took it to North County Christian and said, this rivalry is not a rivalry because we only win. Congrats on the dub, Mitch. You don't get very many of those. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, do not forget to subscribe by pressing this button right over here. And don't forget, if you missed last week's video, to click it over right here. Hope you guys have a great week, and we will see you back next time.